What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Cody D. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Timeline. Okay, so this episode is a little special to me, and I'm really excited for you all to hear it because I had Andrea Mathis on the show. And if you guys don't know who Andrea Mathis is, she's a well-known food blogger, and she calls herself a body-positive dietitian. And part of the reason why I'm excited for you all to hear this episode is because I feel like rarely do people have the conversation around the intersection of the science of food, health, and what that looks like in our bodies, and how there's a lot of misconceptions around people's health due to their body size. So if you're curious around what body positivity looks like in this age of Ozempic, we get all into the details of that. So I'm really excited for you all to be a part of this conversation and to hear what me and Andrea had to talk about. And so I hope you all enjoyed this episode. On today's show, my guest is a licensed dietitian that has turned her professional knowledge into being a food and lifestyle blogger with hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. We'll be discussing what does it mean to diet or have a healthy relationship with food in the age of Ozempic. She's been featured as a panelist at Essence Fest, the Food Network, and her own website, Beautiful Eats and Things. Welcome to the show, Andrea, aka Andy Mathis.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
I'm excited.
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you for following me on social media. I did a little call out on Threads looking for some guests. And you are the perfect candidate because I'm really wanting to have conversations with people who are experts in their field and really are having conversations where they're pushing the boundaries in terms of, things that are happening in our culture and in our society. And so thank you for following me and letting me see you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This is amazing. So I really appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. So how are you doing today?
I am doing good. I'm excited. I was this is my first time in a podcast studio. So it feels fancy. This feels nice.
Well, thank you for being here. And I'm glad that I'm the first person to kind of welcome you into the podcast space.
Yes. I appreciate that.
So I mentioned in the intro that you have turned your professional knowledge into being a licensed dietitian.
Yes.
And now you have transitioned into content creation. So tell me, first of all, what led you to even want to be a dietitian in the first place?
Okay, it's kind of a long story a little bit. So, I've always been a curvier girl. So always all my life I love food, and so I really didn't know what I wanted to do and pursue in college. But I had a teacher in high school, and she was a dietitian. And so when she told me what it was, how they kind of help people eat, feel better, I was like, this is the perfect thing for me to help me lose weight.
Okay.
So I went into it thinking that I was going to help myself lose weight, thinking that's all that it was. And when I kind of researched the profession a little bit more, I learned that it was more than just helping people lose weight. Sometimes it's not about that at all. It's about maybe helping people gain weight, maybe helping people build a relationship with food. And so that really kind of sparked my interest even more. And so I got into the field and I really enjoyed it, but I felt like I had more purpose than to just work in a hospital setting. I felt like I needed to do more, but I just wasn't sure just yet. But that's how it kind of started.
And so how did your relationship with food and dieting kind of change or transform as you learned what it meant to actually be a dietitian?
Well, it took a minute because I was still focused. That was still the focus, was lose weight, because I felt like in order to be a dietitian, I had to look a certain way. So, I had to lose weight, be, slimmer, whatever, just do all the things to kind of fit that image. So it stayed around for a minute.
Is that a lot of what you saw when you were in the field? A lot of people who were very strict about what they ate and were very focused on being thin and were working out all the time.
Yes, that's what the profession was. And it still is maybe about, I think, less than 5% of Black people that are dietitians. And then, of course, it's an even fewer number of people that are plus size or curvy. So, I was trying to fit a mold. And I was I probably wasn't even meant to fit that mold, but I was trying hard. And so over time, I think I had to do a lot of work internally to kind of be pleased with myself and accept myself, to realize that, okay, it's more than this, So, yeah.
I'm glad that you said that about, you realizing that maybe you didn't have to fit that mold specifically, because I think so much of what people don't understand about people who are plus size or people who choose to live healthy, happy lives as a plus size person is that, hey, my body is literally not meant to be a size 2, 4, or 6. It's okay that I'm a little bit curvier.
Yeah.
Now, I think that there's a spectrum there as to where you should be on there. But I know that you've created a video where you talked
Yeah.
about how you were done dieting. So
Yes.
what led you to that decision?
Oh, everything. Like, I mean, it's just after a while you get tired,
Yeah.
because I was tired of, like, say, going to the beach, covering up. I was hot. I had on like a full outfit, like going to the beach because I was trying to cover up. So I had on like shorts, I had on a t-shirt, everything, and I'm just sitting there miserable because I'm worried about what someone else is going to say if I show my bathing suit. So it was just the exhaustion of trying to please everyone. And I'm like, I'm getting older. Is this really how I want to live my life? And I was like, I do not. So I'm done with it. I do want to live a healthier lifestyle, which is possible without pursuing fitness. And people don't realize that, that's a thing. But I was like, I wanted to live a healthier lifestyle, but not focus on that. I wanted to live my life.
Hmm. And I
Hmm.
can only imagine that, like, while you were pursuing your degrees and learning about health food, or not health food, but food sciences,
Yes.
that even the conversations that you're maybe having amongst your
Hmm.
peers, that maybe there is some uh I don't want to say misunderstanding, but maybe some unalignment in terms of thought processes around, like, what your body image is versus what their body image is,
Right.
and their concepts around food
Hmm.
and what you should look like
Right.
because of what you are essentially learning in the classroom as a
Yes.
dietitian.
Hmm. Yes. And it doesn't help that there's so much out there on social media kind of changing these narratives and persuading people to believe a certain kind of way. So that doesn't help with that at all. Hmm.
Yeah. So you worked as a dietitian for how long?
Okay, so I started clinical, and that was about 2 years in a hospital setting. Then I went to public health, that was about a year, and then about 8 years at a long term care facility. So I guess a little bit about 10 years or so. And yeah, I like each setting taught me something different. But I believe that when I was in long term care and then I had my kids, I got married, and I just kind of felt like I wanted something different. I wanted a change, and I love to cook. Like, I've been cooking all my life, love to cook, and I would post pictures of my food,
Yes.
and people were like, "Well, where's the recipe? Like, where can we find this recipe?" And I was like, "Maybe I just need a blog or something
Yeah.
just to keep the recipes." It was strictly there for like a creative outlet and just for me to house my recipes. I didn't have any expectations, nothing at all. So yeah, and it just kind of took off from there.
And so that was like 2016 that you started blogging your recipes.
Yeah, like 2016, I was posting online, and then 2017, that's when I officially did like beautiful eats and things. And then by that next year, it gotten so popular with brands and sponsorships that I was able to leave my full time job, 2018, and do this full time.
That's amazing. That's
Thank
like a
you.
content creator's dream.
And it literally fell into my lap. And it's funny because I know we were talking earlier, and I had interviewed for several different part-time jobs I knew that I was qualified for, overqualified, and they were part-time dietitian jobs, and I did not get any one of them.
Wow.
And I did not get callbacks for some, and I didn't get any one of them. And I was like, oh, because I wasn't meant to be there.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, so that was my sign that, oh, this is my path.
Yes.
Yes. So
This is where you're supposed to be.
yes.
How did you even come up with the name Beautiful Eats and Things?
Well, I was a makeup artist before then,
Your
so
makeup is flawless,
well,
by the
thank
way.
you.
I
Thank
noticed that in
you.
all your pictures and your
Yeah,
videos. I'm like, her face is always
I
beat.
appreciate that. Thank you. I love makeup. I've been doing it forever, but I used to work at Mac.
Okay.
So I had an Instagram page, and it was called Beautiful Andy MUA or something like
Okay.
that.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I want to keep beautiful so that maybe my audience would stick around,
Mm.
So I just added eats and things on there because I like food, but also I like to decorate. I love everything beauty related.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's something else I noticed about your page.
Yes.
Everything is very, like, colorful,
Yes.
decorated. There's a theme for every
Uh-huh.
post. Like, I love that
Thank
because I'm like, I
you.
wish I could be that intentional with every post.
Yes, and it is very it is so it's very intentional because I used to wear a lot of like dark colors. My
Mhm.
wardrobe was really like black muted tones because I was trying to hide like my body and myself. So when I branded myself Beautiful Eats and Things, I said, no, I want color, I want brightness because I'm standing out. And so that's why like when you see my post, you will see a lot of color because I'm like,
Mm.
I'm here.
So you naturally just kind of rebel against, like, all the things that I feel like plus size
Yeah.
people typically kind of like shelter themselves
Yes.
from, like, typically doing.
Hmm.
Where does that energy come from, you feel?
I think it comes from my younger self being afraid to do that because when I was younger, yeah, I was following all the rules. Like I didn't have the patterns, like, they say don't wear too many patterns. I was following all those rules. And like I said, I think I got tired and I was like, I want to be cute. I want to dress cute. I want to, do what other people are doing. Like, why can't I do that? And I think I just kind of got fed up with it. Hmm.
You label yourself a body positive dietitian,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that.
Okay.
But do you feel like the body positivity movement kind of helped you shed some of those things and those blocks that you had in your mind of what you should do or what you shouldn't do as a plus size woman?
I think so, because I felt like when I saw it, I guess becoming more popular, like in social media, I felt like people were looking for people to follow or people to engage with that supported the movement. So I think it kind of gave me a little bit more courage to put myself out there to say, hey, you could follow me. I create content centered around this. So I believe it did help. It definitely did.
So, okay, let's talk about the body positive
Hmm.
dietitian label because I
Okay.
love that. When I
Uh-huh.
saw that in your bio, I was like, I've never heard this
Yes.
before. I love it.
Yeah.
So, explain to the people what exactly that is.
Okay. Well, yeah, because a lot of people think, how can you do both? Like,
Yeah,
how,
people act like they're oxymorons and they're not.
yeah. So, but yes. So, basically, I'm a dietitian. I like to practice like mindful nutrition, gentle nutrition, meaning that I don't like to shame anyone for their food choices, for the way that their body looks. And I feel like nutrition needs to be individualized, like for that person, because what works for one person may not work for the next person.
Right.
And so, and then a lot of times you have clients or just your audience may not want to lose weight. They may just want to be healthier. They may just be okay with their body, but maybe want to be more active, maybe want to eat more vegetables. So I like to say that we need to talk, nice about our bodies. We need to accept our bodies at any stage in life. And so that's where it kind of got to the body positive portion of it.
Hmm.
And then, but like you can still think nice about your body and still maybe want to make healthful changes.
Right.
Hmm.
Because I think that a lot of people think that, well, I'll say this.
Hmm.
I'm obviously a plus size girl too. So a lot of the things that you say, I
Yeah.
identify with as well. And I think that when you are a plus size person and
Hmm.
you are trying to be mindful in how you eat,
Yes.
it's there's a lot of rigidness that you even want to place on yourself, right?
Right.
Like,
Hmm.
oh, I can't have this piece of bread or I
Right.
can't have the pasta.
Hmm.
Like I can only do meat and veggies
Yes.
100% of the time,
Hmm.
or else there is like this internal failure that you feel
Yes.
that I feel like a lot of that is really just coming from
Mhm.
society and we're internalizing it.
It is. And it's so true because it's like a lot of guilt associated. Like if you don't eat perfectly, have this diet, then like you feel bad about yourself. But one thing I like to tell a lot of my clients or my audience is that like food doesn't have like a moral value. So like it
Mm,
shouldn't make you feel good. It shouldn't make you feel bad. Food is food. And it also took me a long time to come to that conclusion. But is so much guilt, especially if you are a plus size person, and then people will also make you feel guilty. If they see you eating a piece of
absolutely.
cake versus eating a salad,
Oh
it's
my
like,
gosh.
yeah. I'm like, why can't I have this piece of
Let
cake?
me tell you something. I love my aunts,
Uh-huh.
but they're some of the most fat phobic people I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I had like so I just had my wedding a
Yes.
few months ago,
Uh-huh.
and we were all together for Christmas,
Yes.
and there was cake passed around, and she was like, "Should you be eating that?"
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I thought we had progressed as a people."
Yes. What
I just looked at her.
this was your wedding? On your wedding day?
No, this was Christmas.
Okay.
This was at
Yes.
Christmas time. So yeah, this was so
Oh.
we're talking about like 5 months before my wedding.
Oh my gosh, the
Yeah,
nerve.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I and see, and like I think a lot of family, because my family's like that. Well, I think, well, yeah, they were a lot like that when I was younger, and I feel like I didn't feel like I could say much because I was younger.
Right.
But nowadays, it's like I don't hear it as much because maybe they watch some of my videos, so
Yes.
maybe it's like, well, we probably can't say this anymore. But yeah, I don't deal with that today.
Well, that's good.
No.
They know not to say that to you
Yes.
because the thing that also frustrates me
Mhm.
is that these same family members sit up and eat fried
Oh
chicken
my gosh.
on a regular basis.
Yes.
On a regular
Uh-huh.
basis. Like we're talking minimum 3
Right,
times a week.
right.
Whereas for me, like I have a brother, we got the same mama and daddy,
Uh-huh,
okay?
uh-huh,
He is 6 feet tall, has always been thin.
uh-huh.
He picks that up from our dad's
Right.
side of the
Mhm.
family and eats like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to beg him to drink water,
Yes.
okay? And whereas for me,
Mhm.
I'm always like, okay, already had bread earlier, so no more
Yeah.
bread today.
Yeah.
Let me make sure that I get all my vegetables in. Let me make sure I get my
Uh-huh.
fiber. Let me make sure I get my protein. Like I am always trying to
Yes.
calculate everything I put in my mouth,
Mhm.
but I who do you think is receiving passive aggressive comments about what goes
Right.
into my mouth?
It's yeah,
Not my brother who sits there and I have to beg him to drink water and eat
exactly.
a vegetable.
I get it, and then it's so sad because people don't see that you're doing that behind closed doors.
Right.
Excuse me, like they don't see that portion of it. They just see what you in front of them and already just kind of make those judgments. And I'm just like, you have no idea the work that I'm putting into trying to be healthier. So yeah,
Exactly.
it is.
But I do think that some of these conversations are
Mhm.
becoming more normalized and some of
Right.
these stigmas that we're talking about
Mhm.
are becoming, I guess, destigmatized
Right.
because of the conversations that we're having,
Mhm.
because we're now in the age of Ozempic and the
Right.
popularity of GLP-1s.
Mhm.
So with your knowledge of being a
Mhm.
dietitian and what you've seen over the last few years
Mhm.
with the popularity of GLP-1s, like what are your thoughts around like
Mhm.
the popularity of it,
Yeah.
and how people should approach their own personal diets regardless of body size?
Yeah, I mean, well, I always say that people should do what's best for them. So, if you talk with your doctor and your doctor feel like it may be a good option for you to try this, and this is something that you want to try, then you have to make that choice for you. So I don't like to say this is a bad choice or this is a good choice. I think it's just kind of like an individualized type of thing. But I will say, whatever choice that you choose to make in regards to your body, whether or not, you're trying to change it, I think that hopefully the change or the need for the change comes from you wanting to do that, and it comes from maybe like good reasons versus it comes from society's pressure or your mate telling you that you need to lose weight or else I'm gone, like those type of reasons I
Wait, first
feel.
of all, if your mate is telling you that, just
I
go ahead and leave
mean,
them. Cause
right.
like, why are you dealing with that?
Right. But you'll be so surprised. When I was seeing clients, a lot of people, well, my husband feels that I'm too heavy. My husband, and I was like, but what do you think about yourself? And let's start there. And I feel like you got to fix that portion first before you go on any type of weight loss healthy journey because you're going to be searching for that happiness even after you lose the weight
Yeah.
because it's something going on.
Well, now that I think about
Uh-huh.
it, and I still agree with that
Uh-huh.
sentiment, but I do wonder like the women who maybe, because this is I come across this a lot in my
Mhm.
friend circle. Like, I'm in my early 30s now.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of girls who are now having their babies
Hmm.
or have just put on extra weight because we're getting
Yeah.
older and they've been thin their whole lives. And
Hmm.
now they're 50 pounds, maybe 100 pounds
Yeah.
heavier than what they're used to.
Hmm.
And they're like, I don't know how to even exist in this body. Or I met my husband at this weight and I've put
Hmm.
on extra pounds and I don't feel attractive, or he's not
Right.
attracted to me anymore.
Mhm.
Do you think that there's a difference then?
Well, I think if the person, like if the person is feeling uncomfortable, if they're not feeling like their normal self, then I think okay, maybe, the changes are not solely coming from their husband or coming from the mate. So I think at that point, okay, maybe see what you can do to change your lifestyle, but maybe still don't focus it solely on weight because since your body changes when you lose weight, you may lose it in different areas or you
Mm,
may look differently than you did before. So I would still say focus on how you feel. Maybe focus on some of your lab values when you go to the doctor. Maybe seeing are those okay. But at that point, I think if you want to feel the best that you can in your body, then it's okay to make those changes.
mhm.
But don't just let somebody telling you you need to do this or I'm gone. Like no, like who are you?
That's
So,
an interesting point. I never thought about like if you lose weight,
mhm.
the body fat will, I guess, like disappear from parts of your body that
Yeah.
you weren't expecting.
I think, and I don't know the science behind it, but I just know from personal experience. But after I had kids, like my weight fluctuates, but I noticed that I will gain it and lose it in different areas. And I was
Really?
just like, this is not, what's going on. Like my thighs are getting smaller if I'm trying to like lose weight now versus I would lose it in my stomach area. And I was like, okay, this is cute.
Right.
But nowadays I'm like, no, I don't know.
Hey,
Mm-mm.
does that have something to do with our hormones?
I don't know what it is, and maybe it could be,
Okay.
but it's definitely not the same process.
Okay.
So,
That's interesting
mhm,
because I didn't know that was possible. Like I'm accustomed to like if I lose weight, I know where I'm gonna lose it for
yeah,
the most
yeah.
part. So now I gotta deal with the possibility.
I
I feel like
thought
that's a woman thing too. I don't
maybe.
feel like men have to deal with all of this
Yeah,
like we do.
yeah,
That's so interesting.
yeah. So that's what I'm like, just go by how you feel, go by how you look, and then make that decision.
So I feel like I mentioned that we're in the age of Ozempic and
Mhm.
GLP-1s. I
Yes.
feel like a lot of people feel like there's a contradiction between the body positive movement
Right.
and people who are wanting to lose weight.
Mhm.
One of the people that I follow and love personally is Lizzo.
Yeah.
I don't know. She hasn't said that she used a GLP-1.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Uh-huh.
People can assume.
Yeah.
But, she definitely was, I would say, one of the leaders maybe
Right.
of the body
Uh-huh.
positive movement. And so people were like, okay, well, she's lost all this weight. What happened to being body positive?
Right.
And I'm just like, well, they can coexist.
Yeah. They certainly can, and she even talked about this because she made videos about it because people were asking her about that, and she was just saying I think she wanted to feel better
Yes.
in her body,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like it's not about promoting obesity. It's not about like saying everyone needs to be this huge size or something in order to be body positive. It really is about accepting your body at different stages of life, where whether you are a little bit bigger than you probably want to be, but you still respect your body. You still respect it enough to take care of it, to nourish it. If you lose weight, like you're still gonna respect it. And I believe people miss that concept and people miss that point. And a lot of people don't even know how the body positive movement actually started.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, so it was back in the 60s, I believe. And so it was started by a group of women that were in larger bodies and they were fighting against like weight stigma and weight discrimination.
Wow, in the 60s.
Yes, so they weren't receiving like fair treatment when it came to healthcare, and so they were fighting against that discrimination. And I feel like as it kind of hit social media, it kind of got watered down, and then the messaging was like, "Oh, love yourself if you got a gut, I'm body positive," and it's like we're still supposed to be fighting and still being like an advocate for to fight against weight discrimination and fight against weight stigma. And I believe it doesn't matter what size you are, you can still speak up against that.
And so, what was some of the things that they were dealing with back then? Is some of the same things we're still dealing with
Yeah,
today?
some of the same things. I know the healthcare was a big issue and the lack of respect. So they weren't receiving the same respect. I think it maybe some job or maybe job opportunities weren't the same. So I believe still some of the things that we experience now. And so that's how it started. But I was like, when it hit social media and when it started to get popular and it became a hashtag, I feel like that's when it was like everybody kind of hopped on it. Even those to me that didn't even seem like in a larger body or that was really plus size, they were kind of hopping on the
Mid-size?
yeah, kind of hopping on the train like, hey, I have cellulite. See, I'm body positive.
No.
And I'm just like,
Go sit down, please.
we're missing the point. Like, okay, yes, love your body, but still, there was definitely a mission for that movement.
Do you feel like with social media
Mhm.
that the perception of, hey, just be fat and love yourself, like, do you
Mhm.
feel like that's accurate? The way that some people who have misunderstood what it meant, do you feel
Right.
like that
That
is, or that you understand why people feel that way?
I I could see it if they don't do their research. So like I can see if they see like I guess scroll on social media and then you see people in larger bodies, saying, okay, I'm body positive, and then this is all you're seeing, but are you really listening to their message? Are you doing the research to understand like what it really means? So I feel like people aren't taking the time to listen. They're
Mhm.
just seeing a heavier person talking about how they love their body, and it's like, oh, they're promoting obesity. Like just because they love themselves.
But do you think there are some people online who were quote unquote promoting obesity?
So I don't think there were people like promoting obesity. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could have been their intentions for some reason, but I don't think there was anyone in particular like promoting that lifestyle or promoting that everyone needs to just do this and whatever. I don't think that. I think that a lot of people internalized it that way. I think people saw heavier people online eating normal meals, being happy, and it was like, oh, this is not right. Like, you need
Right.
to be sad. I need to see you actively working to lose weight,
Right.
because I feel like sometimes that's the only way that, us plus size people can exist is to show that you're trying to lose weight.
Right.
And then you get the respect. But if you're just sitting there happy and you are eating a cheeseburger, it's like,
How
no.
dare you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and you're happy,
Yeah.
so I think that was the problem.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
for me personally,
Hmm.
I feel like the way I never really liked the word body positive just because of the misconception
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
it. So I never really, I mean, I feel like I did embody that, but I
Hmm.
never like would publicly say like, "Oh, I'm
Right.
promoting positivity."
Right.
But I feel like also on the other hand, if you are plus size and you're
Hmm.
confident and
Right.
you're plus size and you're just like, "Hey, I know that I look good,"
Hmm.
or I'm going to wear this outfit that may be considered a little socially
Hmm.
risque because I'm showing my thighs or
Right.
I'm showing a little bit of belly or whatever, even though I'm a size 16, you know, a lot of people get mad at that too. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, how dare you be confident? How dare you
Right.
feel as
Right.
if, you know, you are owed respect
Hmm.
when you are the size that you are?
I feel like that's how it is. Like they're expecting you to talk about your body, feel bad about your body. And I'm like, just no. Some people really love who they are, no matter what size they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to, you know, what you said about the body positive movement starting
Hmm.
in the 60s and there being this stigma going into medical facilities and going to see
Right.
doctors and you being, you know, even today I hear stories
Hmm.
about women being misdiagnosed or,
Right.
you know, some of their issues being dismissed
Hmm.
because doctors are just telling them, "Oh, you just need to lose weight for
Yes.
everything" as like basically the prescription for
Uh-huh.
getting better.
Yes.
Did you see some of that in your own workplace?
I experienced it. Like I experienced it firsthand because I went to I call them the doc in the box, like the ones
Mhm.
down the street. I went to a facility and I had flu-like symptoms.
Mm.
Came in there, face red, nose red. I was like, oh, I need to figure out what's going on. And the doctor, okay, we talked about my symptoms, but then as he was writing something down, he was like, well, do you also want me to give you a prescription for some diet pills? And I was like, I excuse me, like I didn't come in here. I didn't even mention my weight.
Right.
Nothing was mentioned about that. I was strictly talking about my
Or
sneezing.
help me understand the correlation between me needing diet
Right.
pills and my flu-like symptoms.
Right. And so it really upset me. So I left and did all that. And then I ended up calling back and I was trying to figure out a way to report him because I was
Mm.
really, really upset about that. But I've seen that a lot happen when I used to work in the hospital setting. And the sad thing is that a lot of the health practitioners were not aware that they were doing it. So it was so
Because I'm
it was
assuming it's being taught even in
I
medical
think
school.
so, yeah, and they have to, I guess, respond so quickly. Maybe they're on a certain time frame, especially if they work in the ER or something. Maybe they have to get patients in and out, so they're kind of looking to judge the person, like as they come in, and to figure out what type of tests need to be run. So I guess if you're a heavier person, maybe they're going to say that this is the reason for your sickness versus me spending all the time to run the proper labs to figure
Right.
it out. Yeah.
Right. And so were you able to advocate for some of those patients in your position, or were you able to have those conversations directly with those physicians who were maybe including their own biases
Yeah.
into how they were diagnosing patients?
I tried. Honestly, I was scared because I was like a new dietitian, early 20s, and I would write notes. So I would write things, that I think that the doctor should see because they're supposed to read your notes. So
They don't be reading
they don't
those.
read
I'm
notes.
glad you said it because let me tell you something. When I go to the doctor's office and they come in there asking me questions, I'm like, so do you or do
Uh-huh.
you not read before you
Right.
enter this room?
They do not. They do not
Why do
read
they
your
not
notes.
read? Is it because they're in a rush to try to get
I
the
think
patients and
because
everything?
they're in a rush.
You guys get paid way too much to not read. I mean,
Right.
if anybody has to read,
I
it need to be
agree.
doctors.
Yes, I agree. And I would spend a lot of time writing these notes. Like I would proofread them. Like they were nice notes and they had some nice details in them. And I knew that they weren't reading them. But that was kind of my way of sticking up, then to kind of write in the notes. Okay, this person needs to have this. Maybe try doing this. And but yeah, probably just got ignored.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so those things never really got addressed head
No,
on.
I don't think so because it's still happening today. I'm glad that more people are speaking out about it so that maybe that they are seeing these messages and maybe trying new techniques,
Mhm.
hopefully.
Mhm.
But
So
yeah.
I also want to circle back to what you said that you do in terms of
Mhm.
your work. You
Yes.
said you focus on mindful eating and you
Mhm.
used another term. What was it?
Gentle nutrition.
Gentle
Yes.
nutrition. What is that?
Okay, so I don't think it's like a formal term, but I just like to, like I said, I don't like to shame anyone's food choices. So I like to see where people are, where, their budget, what they can afford. And then that's how I suggest the nutrition interventions.
Okay.
Because, and I've seen so many specials like, oh, stay away from processed foods or stop feeding your family this. But sometimes
Processed
people,
foods is all we got. I
right.
mean, and I'm not saying that like
Yeah.
I'm saying that for everybody.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
don't think it matters what economic
Mhm.
demographic you come from.
Right.
Processed foods are all around us,
Yes,
unfortunately.
it
I don't
is.
really know how we can escape it unless
You
you
can't.
are farming your own food.
Exactly. And that's why, like, it comes from such a place of privilege when people say that, like, oh, you need to stop feeding your family this. Well, for one, the cost. And then two, like, some foods are processed so that they can stay on the shelves a little bit longer. So there are certain different reasons, like, why foods are processed. But I've seen a new documentary talking about it. And I'm just like,
Oh,
what?
what's the name of the documentary?
I don't know the exact name, but is it on Netflix? I'm not sure. But
Okay.
it's talking about, I think the dangers of ultra processed foods. And while there is some, okay, truth to that to some foods, but you do have to realize that you can eat a healthy diet with some processed foods, and some people may not be able to afford anything else. So that's why I'm like, let's kind of be sensitive about that. And so I guess that's what I mean when I say gentle nutrition. I think about everyone's factors and kind of tie that in.
Right. So,
Hmm.
do you have examples of some healthy processed foods so that people can
Yeah.
know what they could potentially eat at home?
I did a whole blog post recently because I was trying to make some recipe ideas. So it's like 7 different recipes for under $9,
Mm.
and a lot of them have processed foods. So it was one my husband likes. This is a tuna noodle casserole. You use canned tuna. Pasta, and then there was another one, the basic. It was grilled cheese and tomato soup, and I gave
Mm.
tips on how to make that Campbell's soup kind of taste a little bit more homemade. Several different I had a veggie soup recipe that you're using majority canned veggies and some broth. You can add some noodles to it, maybe ground beef. And I'm like, canned veggies are just as healthy as the fresh ones.
So I've seen some of the recipes on your page. Like you had the sloppy Joe recipe, and I was like,
Hmm.
I have not had a sloppy Joe since I was a kid,
Yes.
and it looked so good. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to make that at home.
Yes.
And there was something else that you put on your page too. This just like simple stuff that
Hmm.
I'm like, I think sometimes at home we overcomplicate like making dinner
Right.
because I think
Yes.
so many of us are just tired from the
Hmm.
day, and we're just like, ugh, gotta make another meal for this man and them kids.
Right. 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 Keep it simple.
Yeah, but the
Hmm.
sloppy Joe, like that was a good reminder for me. Like, okay, we can keep it
Yeah.
simple and it still be really good.
Yes.
And so okay. So
Hmm.
what's your inspiration behind like the foods that you do choose to make? Is it simply just this is
Yeah.
what I like, so I'm gonna make it?
It's foods that I like. Yes, foods that I like, foods that I grew up with. I try to keep it really simple and familiar because a lot of times if it's something that we've never heard of or that sounds too complicated, we're not going to fix it. So it's usually something that, my kids like, or maybe even something that I've had at a restaurant that I want to recreate. And so I do that a lot. So
Mm-hmm. Now, every time you cook, are you pulling the camera out?
most times,
Okay.
yeah, I have my tripod, like I'm bringing it everywhere with me because you just never know when there's a moment. So, but sometimes, I guess the majority of times, I do pull out my tripod, and yes,
You're capturing it all.
I am, and my family is like,
They're
"Oh,
tired of
like
it.
why?" And if we go out to eat at a restaurant, I gotta take my pictures first and like kind of do my little thing, and then they're like, everybody's like this, hands off first. So
They already know the
they
rules.
already know, and I feel bad because they're like so hungry, they just want to dive in. I'm like, nope, let me get a picture.
What's your favorite restaurant? Okay, two
Hmm.
things. Your favorite chain restaurant and
Okay.
your favorite restaurant locally in Birmingham.
Let's see, my favorite chain restaurant. I don't know if it's my favorite. We go here a lot because my kids love it and my husband loves it. So we go to Applebee's a lot.
Oh, okay.
And and they love it. So I guess, I mean, that's cool. But my favorite one here, I don't know which one I like. That's just for Alabama. I don't know, it's Milo's.
Milo's very Alabama.
Maybe it's Milo's. I don't know because when I went to visit my sister in Mississippi, they didn't have Milo's there.
Yeah, I think Milo's is just Alabama in terms of the restaurant. They have
Yeah.
Milo's tea in other
Yeah, I'm
states.
sure it's another restaurant I like, but that's the one that came to mind because I was thinking about those fries and I got hungry.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the
okay.
Milo's fries are top tier. So do you still take clients right now? Like you see clients and they can or book time with you to get some advice from you on how to like
Hmm.
eat. You said mindful. I keep forgetting mindful
And,
eating and
and gentle nutrition. Yeah.
gentle nutrition. Okay.
Okay, so I don't see clients for that. So I just mainly make content that people can access. But I do see clients for a separate thing, which is the social media and branding consulting that I do. So I will take on clients for that. But yeah, I just make content for everyone. Mhm.
Okay. And so on your website, beautiful eats
Eats and
and
things,
things.
yes.
There you also have other things that are available on the sites for people to
Hmm.
shop for and
Yes,
also other pieces of content that they can consume so they can get some guidance on what they eat at home. So what
yes.
else is available for people?
Okay, so you have the recipes, you have that there. I also love to decorate. So I have like a lot of decor tips, like tablescape ideas. And I also have an online shop. So it's full of like items. I have sweaters like the one I have on.
That's
So
so cute.
thank
I
you.
like that sweater.
Thank you. So like I design different sweaters, sweatshirts,
You
mugs.
designed this one?
I did.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Okay,
Thank
I'm gonna have to
you.
get me that
Yes, I
shirt. I'm
have
gonna
like a
buy
lot
it.
of animal print
Okay.
because I love animal print. So I have that, but I have so many different designs, and they're all like empowerment. They're all about self love. So they all have a lot of positive messages on there. And so yeah, I love to design. It's just kind of one of my things I was doing as a kid, and I was like, how can I incorporate this into my grown up life? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so if I want to get that shirt, how much is it gonna cost me?
Okay, so the thing is, okay, so I have a sale right now. I feel like when I have to break down the price, it may not be okay. But this one, because the quality is so top tier.
Can I touch it? Because it does look
Yes,
like very thick.
it's
Okay.
it's very nice.
It does feel good.
So this one would be $65.99.
Okay.
I do have a sale that you get 15% off if you use the code take15.
Okay.
And I'll extend that code. But yeah.
Okay.
But I have cardigans, long sleeve sweaters, and just sweatshirts, all the things.
Okay.
So,
Very good. You really are creative all the way
I love to.
around.
Yeah, I do so I paint. I'm making earrings today. Why am I making
Really?
earrings? I don't know. Yeah. 'Cause
I love
I
that.
know.
No, I really do love meeting people
Thank
who
you.
like fully engage with their creative side, because I feel like that's so much of what's missing in the world.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my hobbies back. I'm trying to have hobbies.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming on the
thank
show,
you.
Andy.
Thank
Is there
you.
you want to shout out your page so people can know where to follow you on social media?
Yes. So if you go to beautifuleatsandthings.com, like if you go to my website, you'll see all the little icons to go to my social media channels. But it's mostly Beautiful Eats and Things on Instagram, TikTok. I'm on YouTube,
Yes.
Pinterest, LinkedIn,
Everywhere.
everything.
Yes.
Everything. So follow me.
Love that. Thank you again for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all so much for listening. Make sure that you subscribe to this show on YouTube, rate, review us on all of your podcast platforms, and don't forget to tell a friend.